Hey, Mr. 313. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. Just coming on to give you guys some update. You the first one. 313, you funny. You said you're number one. Hey, Kay, baby. Hey, Kayla. 313 say he's number one. He's first. Hey, Kim. I'm waiting for a few people to come on in. Hey, Tawana. Hey, Bentley. What's new? There's some new stuff I want to just bring you up to speed, guys. Some new information. Hey, Red Bunny. Hey, Ladybugs. you digging me? Hey, Pamela. I see you now. Hey, Liddy. Hey, Tori. Hey, guys. I got some updates for you guys for today. Hey, Shay. Hey, Shannon. Shannon, you was knocked out last night. You was comatose. Hey, Daryl. How are you? Welcome, Daryl. Okay, let's see. Let's go in here. I got some new information to bring to you guys. Yes, I do. Let me see. I was just trying to see if the court has updated their stuff too. Because they have to reply to, okay, they haven't replied yet. But I do have some updates for you guys. Some serious updates. And it's very helpful to Robert's case, especially with what's happening now. And this would give some help to Robert. Hey, Love Bug 725. Hey guys, let me just wait a few more minutes. I'm waiting for a couple of more people to come into the chat so I can give you guys some update. You know me, I'm always ready to give you guys update of what's happening with Rob's case. Remember, February 4th is what the time frame that the court has. Today's February 1st. Happy February to you guys. This is my month. I love February. Woo! We are February. I'm a February baby. It's Black History Month. So many good things happens in February, especially I was born. I'm just joking with you guys. Everybody bring your water on. We have 37 in the chat. Trying to wait till a little bit more people come in. But you know, folks, y'all, a lot of folks is all over the drama spots, right? We got 41 in the chat now. Let's see if we can get 50 up in here. See if we can get 50. Let's see if we can get some 50 up in this place. People who wants to hear. Hey, Cheryl. Shannon. Oh, yes, Auntie under the bed. You was under the bed. Hey, Nakia, darling. Shannon, you was up under the bed, comatose. Thank you, Kayla. I got my favorite color on, purple. You know, if you see everything is purple, that is my color. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what they say about that color. That is a color for me. It's color of royalty. We got 44 in the chat. Trying to get up to about 50 up in this place. Give us the 40. Give us 40 for the team, Miss Sylvia. We got 40 something up in the chat now. Let's see. We got some stuff that we have to discuss, and it's pretty good. You know, I'm gonna put the link in there. 313, you want to come up in here? Let me give my link. 313. And 313, you don't have to read. Guys, it's been storming here. Oh my God. I hear oh, you need my Cash App? Okay, my Cash App is right here. It's coming up. $TUMUSIME. And I'm standing by the car with a denim jacket on. It's me standing by the car with a denim jacket. Hey, good morning, 313.
Good morning.
Good afternoon in our side of town, but you know, over there it's morning, but
no, it's afternoon.
No, I'm saying for the other people, like the people in Chicago and people there, you know. Somebody please put my Cash App in, because a couple of people want my Cash App. We got 46 in the chat. We need about 4 more, then we can get started. What I have to show you guys. 313, how's your morning been so far? You been busy?
Nope.
Is it snowing?
It was.
It's snowing everywhere.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Let me see. It's no snow here. Let's see. Nope, no snow in Georgia. It's a bunch of wind. No rain, no nothing. Just we passed the mark. We have 52. Sorry, my bad. I'm late.
Let me mute because I want to hear this.
You want to hear? Oh no. It's really, really good. Okay. Did you know, Mr. 313, that the inmates of MCC have filed lawsuit? You know why? 313?
Like all of them?
They have filed. They said 500 of them filed a lot. The detainees as well as the inmates. You know why?
Why?
The COVID. Remember, that was one of the things that they were saying, that they had so much measure that was put into place when Rob's lawyers was talking about that they were in harm's way, and the government lied and said no, they've taken care of that. But here's the document right here, y'all. You know me, I got to show you my proof. Hold on. They filed it on the 29th of this month, a class action lawsuit against MCC. All right, you ready? Hold on. Wait a minute. All right, here we go, y'all. Bam. You see it? See it? Is it big enough for you guys to see? Oh, I didn't share it. My bad. There it is. Oh, it's taking us. What's going on with this thing today? Okay, can you guys see it now? You see it, 313?
Yeah, I could see it.
Why you sounding like that? You don't sound too happy today. We gotta change that little attitude over there.
I don't got an attitude.
You sound like you're upset about something. We're gonna talk about it later on, but we can't get upset today, okay? Hey, Derek, there was a lawsuit filed on Friday by MCC inmates. The two inmates that started the lawsuit is Ricky Price and Kevin Conway. And y'all, we're gonna read it, and we're gonna let the thing read it. You want to let the thing read it, or should I read it? No, it's too many pages.
Let the thing read it, because you be going off.
But it's so many pages, y'all. It's 33 pages in this lawsuit. Okay, we'll read enough to get you guys. Yes, exactly, Kayla. They're not keeping the inmates safe. So therefore, now Rob's attorney has something to fall back on also, you know? Because remember, they claim he was safe. Right? So now the inmates is discussing some of the things that were done inside there. Let's take a look at it, okay? Okay, y'all ready? Corruption starts at the top. That's right. You see how they suing everybody? The Federal Bureau of Prisoners. They have Michael Carl Van Lay, whatever his name is, the director of the bureau. Then you have the warden. Then you have the health. Hold on a second. I'm going to go down here. You see all these people they have here? Administrative class action complaint for declaration of what? Injunction relief. Oh, okay. We're going to play this now. Okay, y'all? Y'all ready? Sir. Sir?
Well, we waiting on you, Sylvia.
I gotta hear you say something, because that's the only way everybody. I'll know what everybody's saying, because you'll do my eyes.
I'm making me some oatmeal.
Okay, all right. Here we go. We're going to play it, y'all, okay? Thank you guys for showing up in this chat. That y'all hear about the business, not for the drama. Because drama is going on all over the YouTube world. Hold on, let's do this. Read out loud. Try to make sure it's loud enough for you guys to hear it.
Plaintiffs v. Federal Bureau of Prisons, Michael Carvajal, Director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Russell Heisner, Warden of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, Zidane Dife, Health Administrator of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, defendants. Case No. Class action complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief plaintiffs Ricky Price and Kevin Conway, by their attorneys, on their own behalf and on behalf of a class consisting of all persons confined or to be confined in the Chicago Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, the class, and two subclasses, one consisting of pretrial detainees at MCC, the pretrial subclass, and one consisting of post-conviction MCC residents, the post-conviction subclass, complain against. Defendants Federal Bureau of Prisons, Michael Carvajal, Director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Russell Heisner, Warden of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, and Zidane Dife, Health Administrator of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, as follows. Introduction and Background 1. MCC is run by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, and currently houses between 500 and 550 federal detainees and prisoners in a space designed for 400. Its inhabitants and staff cannot socially distance. Residents are almost entirely dependent upon defendants for protection against the novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and the disease it causes, COVID-19. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th. 21 page 1 of 33 page ID hashtag 1. 2. Defendants have already failed not once, but twice, to protect the people in their custody. As of May 4, 2020, MCC had the fourth highest reported number of coronavirus infections of any BOP facility in the country, between 20% and 25% of the resident population. The real infection rate was certainly higher, since the reported cases were the result of systematic testing on only some of MCC's residential floors. In November 2020, reported cases started to surge again. Public health experts had repeatedly warned of this risk for fall and winter. Despite months to plan for a better outcome, defendants resorted once again to the failed strategies of the spring, which did not stop the disease then, and did not stop at the second time. This included lockdowns, poorly implemented and incomplete isolation and quarantine processes, slovenly disinfection, and a blind eye turn to staff who do not wear masks, although staff are the ones who go in and out of the facility every day. Now, months after testing has become routinely and widely available, and surveillance testing is practiced by other correctional systems, defendants still rely on the observation and self-reporting of symptoms for a disease universally known to have many asymptomatic carriers to identify when an outbreak has begun. They fail to care properly even for those they know to be sick. Residents are terrified and depressed. The BOP COVID-19 webpage now reports that this facility, housing some 500 to 550 people, has had some 300 resident cases of COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. 3. Defendants' persistent failure to protect MCC residents from COVID-19 is likely to cause harm in any congregate setting, but is particularly shocking because MCC residents, like all carceral populations, suffer disproportionately from medical conditions and history of disease that place them at high risk of serious injury or death from COVID-19 as compared to the general population. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 2 of 33 page ID hashtag 2. 3. 4. MCC residents and staff need early access to a COVID-19 vaccine, although this measure by itself will not immediately protect them. As of January 16, 2021, the Bureau of Prisons reported that it had vaccinated a fraction of its staff and an even smaller number of residents at some of its facilities. Some 20% of staff had received one dose of a two-shot vaccine, while barely 4% of residents had received their first shot. It also reported that this had used 97% of its existing supply. 1 last week. Reportedly, some staff and a very few MCC residents were offered the vaccine. How many actually accepted is unknown. And while vaccination mitigates the severity of COVID-19, it has not been shown to prevent asymptomatic infection and transmission of the coronavirus. 5. Defendants must have an effective plan to educate and encourage the people in its custody at MCC, as well as its staff, to accept vaccination. But even with vaccination, it will be at least months, and maybe longer, before a facility like MCC can safely abandon the critically important preventative measures against COVID-19, at which defendants have so far failed. 6. The pandemic is not over, and COVID-19 remains a cruel and sometimes fatal illness. Now even more contagious strains of the virus have emerged. Only a multi-layered approach, which includes not just vaccination, but also routine and effectively implemented testing, masking, sanitation, and use of isolation and quarantine, can keep the residents of MCC from being exposed, over and over again, to the same risks of serious harm they have already endured. Defendants had time and did not use it. They have failed their responsibilities under federal law, the Constitution, and their own regulations. It is now time to order them to protect plaintiffs and the class. 1. Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 vaccination efforts commended, updated, January 16, 2021. https://www.bop.gov/resources/news/202106_covid_vaccine_efforts_commended.jsp https://www.bop.gov/resources/news/202106_covid_vaccine_efforts_commended.jsp Case 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29, 21 page 3 of 33 page ID #3 4 I. Jurisdiction and Venue 7. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1331 because it arises under the Constitution and laws of the United States. 8. Plaintiffs' claims for declaratory and injunctive relief are authorized by the Declaratory Judgment Act, 28 U.S.C. 220102, by Rules 57 and 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, by the Administrative Procedure Act, 5 U.S.C. 702, 706, and by the inherent equitable powers of this court. 9. Venue is proper under 28 U.S.C. 1391, E1b. Defendants are United States agencies or officers sued in their official capacities, and the events and omissions giving rise to this complaint have and will continue to occur in this judicial district. 2. Parties 10. Plaintiff Ricky Price is currently in BOP custody at MCC, where he is at risk of death or serious injury if exposed to COVID-19. He is being held in pretrial custody and is presumed innocent. Like other pretrial detainees at MCC, Mr. Price shares a cell with another detainee on one of MCC's cell floors. Approximately 90% of MCC's population are pretrial detainees like Mr. Price. 11. Plaintiff Kevin Conway is currently in BOP custody at MCC, where he is at risk of death or serious injury if exposed to COVID-19. He is being held post-conviction. Until the past week, Mr. Conway has continuously been housed in dormitory housing on one of MCC's dormitory floors. Approximately 10% of MCC's population are post-conviction residents, like Mr. Conway. 12. Defendant Federal Bureau of Prisons was established in 1930 to provide more progressive and humane care for federal inmates, to professionalize the prison service, and to Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 4 of 33 page ID hashtag 4. 5. Ensure consistent and centralized administration of federal prisons. It is responsible for the safety of and all care and services for the persons in its custody. 13. Defendant Michael Carvajal is the Director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. As Director, Defendant Carvajal is responsible for all BOP policies implemented at MCC, including those pertaining to resource distribution and factors that BOP facility leadership should consider in determining an incarcerated individual's eligibility for early release. His responsibilities include ensuring the safety of all in the BOP system and ensuring that its institutions operate in an orderly fashion. Director Carvajal has adopted and enforced policies that leave plaintiffs and all those similarly situated exposed to infection, severe illness, and death due to COVID-19. Defendant Carvajal is named in both individual and official capacities. 14. Defendant Russell Heisner is MCC's warden. He is in charge of MCC operations and is responsible for the welfare of MCC inmates. Defendant Heisner is named in both individual and official capacities. 15. Defendant Zayden Dife is MCC's health administrator. Dife is responsible for formulating and implementing administrative policies and programs essential to medical and dental operations at MCC. Dife also manages and directs the MCC laboratory, pharmacy, and the medical records departments. Defendant Dife is named in both individual and official capacities. 3. Fact 16. The global COVID-19 pandemic remains a grave threat, with no certain conclusion. As of January 27, 2021, worldwide there were over 99 million reported COVID-19. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 5 of 33 page ID hashtag 5. 6. Cases and 2 million confirmed deaths. 2 on January 19th, 2021, the United States suffered its 400,000th death from COVID-19, with an official from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, predicting 500,000 by February. 3 in Illinois, there have been over 1 million confirmed or probable cases of COVID-19 and 20,000 deaths. For Chicago alone has seen over 230,000 cases and 4,500 deaths. 5. 17. COVID-19 is now the leading cause of death in the United States. BOP itself has acknowledged that approximately 20% of cases will have severe or life-threatening illness and up to 2 to 3% of patients will die. Some experts estimate the mortality rate may be 10 times higher than that of seasonal influenza. 6. 18. As is now fully evident, the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines does not mean that the pandemic is over or will be over within a few weeks or months. The pace of vaccine distribution in the U.S. has already fallen behind schedule. As of January 7, 2021, the CDC reported that the total number of people initiating vaccination, first dose received, stood a little above 5.9 million, far short of the 21 million doses that had been distributed, and as of January 28, it reported that only 4.2 million people had received the full 2 doses. 7 on the same date, the 2 World Health Org, Coronavirus Disease, COVID-19, Pandemic, https www.who.it/emergencies/diseases/novel coronavirus 2019 https://www.who.it/emergencies/diseases/novel coronavirus 2019. Last access January 27, 2021. 3. Jamie Yuccas, U.S. expected to have 500,000 COVID-19 deaths by February, CDC official. Warns. CBS News, January 19, 2021. https://www.cbsnews.com/news/covid-death-toll- United States expected 500K February/https://www.cbsnews.com/news/covid-death-toll- United States expected 500K For LLL. Deputy of PUB Health, Coronavirus Disease 2019, http://www.dph.illinois.gov/topics/services/diseases and conditions/diseases AZ list/coronavirus http://www.dph.illinois.gov/topics/services/diseases and conditions/diseases AZ list/coronavirus. Last access January 27, 2021. 5 ID. 6 Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Pandemic Response Plan Overview, August 31, 2020 p. 2. https://www.bop.gov/FOIA/docs/overview_COVID_pandemic_pandemic_response_plan_COVID_083120220 https://www.bop.gov/FOIA/docs/overview_COVID_pandemic_response_plan_COVID_083122020 PDF 7 CTRS for Disease Control and Prevention, Coronavirus Disease 2019, COVID-19, CDC COVID Data Tracker/COVID-19 Vaccinations in the United States, https://covid.cdc.gov/COVID Data Tracker/#vaccinations, https://covid.cdc.gov/COVID Data Tracker/#vaccinations. Last access January 28, 2021. Case 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29, 21 page 6 of 33 page ID #6. 7. Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center reported that Illinois had fully vaccinated only 1.25% of its population. 819. In addition, vaccine resistance and hesitancy are impinging on public health efforts to quell SARS-CoV-2 by immunization. BOP itself reported that, as of January 16, 2021, roughly half of the staff to whom vaccine had been offered had opted to vaccinate. 9. But epidemiologists agree that more than 70% of the United States population must have immunity to achieve herd immunity. When this might occur for COVID-19 is unknown and unpredictable. 1020. Finally, the virus continues to mutate. An important new development in the evolution of the COVID-19 pandemic and the SARS-CoV-2 virus has been the emergence of the B.1.1.7 mutant in the United Kingdom that has been identified in Colorado, New York, and California, and is believed to be widely circulating across the United States. As of January 16, 2021, the B.1.1.7 mutant had been identified in Chicago by laboratories at Northwestern University. Both laboratory testing and epidemiologic data strongly indicate greater transmissibility of this agent compared to the original form of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Recent estimates project that 80% vaccination or greater is required for herd immunity against this mutant. 1121. The CDC has estimated that 50% of SARS-CoV-2 infections come from asymptomatic patients. Consequently, the familiar measures to limit the spread of the virus. 8. Coronavirus Resource Center, Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, https://coronavirus.ju.edu/vaccines//corona. 7. Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center reported that Illinois had fully vaccinated only 1.25% of its population. 819.
Okay, why did it repeat? Sorry, y'all.
8. Coronavirus Resource Center, Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, https://coronavirus.ju.edu/vaccines/coronavirus.ju.edu/vaccines, last visited January 28, 2021. 9. Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 vaccination efforts commended, January 16, 2021, https://www.bop.gov/resources/news/202116_COVID_vaccine_efforts_commended.jsp. 10. Donald G. McNeil, Jr., How Much Herd Immunity is Enough? New York Times, December 24, 2020, https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/12/24/health/herd immunity COVID coronavirus.html https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/12/24/health/herd immunity COVID coronavirus.html. 11. ID. Case 1:21CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 7 of 33 page ID hashtag 7. 8. Social distancing, using personal protective equipment, especially masks, avoidance of large groups and of indoor gatherings except with household members or those who are members of a bubble, and practicing vigilant hygiene, including frequently and thoroughly washing hands with soap and water and cleaning and disinfecting high-touch surfaces, will continue to be essential for the foreseeable future to stem transmission of SARS-CoV-2. 22. Although older people and people with certain pre-existing conditions are the most vulnerable to serious illness or death from the virus, even younger people may suffer serious cases of COVID-19 or die. A recent study reported 12,000 excess deaths among the young, defined as adults ages 25 to 44, in the U.S. in the period from March through the end of July 2020, a trend that was continuing into the fall and winter. 1223. As the pandemic has continued, there have been more and more reports of long-term, sometimes disabling effects of the disease. The CDC reports fatigue, chest and joint pain, and shortness of breath among common long-term symptoms. Others are intermittent fever, heart palpitations, depression, and difficulty with thinking and concentration. 13. There are graver long-term effects as well, including inflammation of the heart muscle, myocarditis, lung function abnormalities, and acute kidney injury. 14. BOP itself notes that cellular damage from SARS-CoV-2 may cause long-term health consequences, including multiple organ injury. 15. 12. Jeremy Samuel Faust.
I'm trying to see if I can bypass all that part. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to bypass because I hate when they read that those
Case 1:21CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 8 of 33 page ID hashtag 8. 9. 24. These long-term effects are not unusual or confined to the elderly or ill. As of September 2020, A series of medical studies had already reported that substantial numbers of COVID-19 sufferers had long-term symptoms, including, according to one study of patients with mild symptoms who had not been hospitalized, 1/4 of the patients aged 18 to 34 years old. 1625. From the outset of the global pandemic, experts warned that people in confined spaces such as correctional facilities, where people live, eat, sleep, and work in close proximity, faced increased danger of contracting COVID-19. 17 The close quarters and limited freedom of movement inherent in correctional facilities make social distancing and other preventive measures difficult or impossible for their residents. Moreover, the ability of incarcerated people to adopt preventative measures is almost completely subject to the dictates of correctional officials who control the housing, schedules, sanitary, and personal protective equipment supplies, and nearly every other aspect of their lives. BOP has acknowledged that the disease presents unique challenges for management in the confined correctional environment. 18. 16 Rita Rubin. As their numbers grow, COVID-19 long haulers stump experts. JAMA 324, 14, September 23, 2020, https://jamanetwork.com/journals/jama/full article/2771111 https://jamanetwork.com/journals/jama/full article/2771111 17 Timothy Williams, Benjamin Weiser, and William K. Rashbaum. Jails are petri dishes. Inmates freed as the virus spreads behind bars. New York Times, March 30, 2020. https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/03/30/coronavirus prisons jails.html https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/03/a/coronavirus prisons jails.html 18 Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Pandemic Response Plan Overview, August 31, 2020 p. 2 https://www.bop.gov/FOIA/docs/overview_COVID_plan_COVID-pandemic_response_plan_COVID-2020 https://www.bop.gov/FOIA
I was trying to move it down, but it just got caught someplace else. There we go.
Proximity faced increased danger of contracting COVID-19. 17 The close quarters and limited freedom of movement inherent in correctional facilities make social distancing and other preventive measures difficult or impossible for their residents. Moreover, the ability of incarcerated people to adopt preventative measures is almost completely subject to the dictates of correctional officials who control the housing, schedules, sanitary, and personal protective equipment supplies, and nearly every other aspect of their lives. BOP has acknowledged that the disease presents unique challenges for management in the confined correctional environment. 18. 16 Rita Rubin. As their numbers grow, COVID-19 long haulers stump experts. JAMA 324, 14, September 23, 2020. https://jamanetwork.com/journals/jama/full article/2771111 https://jamanetwork.com/journals/jama/full article/2771111 17 Timothy Williams, Benjamin Weiser, and William K. Rashbaum. Jails are petri dishes. Inmates freed as the virus spreads behind bars. New York Times, March 30, 2020. https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/03/30/a/coronavirus prisons jails.html https://www.newyorktimes.com/2020/03/30/a/coronavirus prisons jails.html 18 Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Pandemic Response Plan Overview, August 31st, 2020 p. 2. https://www.doc.gov/FOIA/docs/overview_covid_pandemic_response_plan_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid_covid__covid 08312002000 https://www.doc.gov/FOIA/docs/overview_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_response_covid_plan_covid_pandemic_ 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29th, 21 page 9 of 33 page ID #9 10 26. In addition, as is well known, jail and prison populations suffer from higher levels of chronic conditions, history of disease, and other health impairments that make individuals more vulnerable to serious illness and death from COVID-19. 1927. Defendants have failed to take the necessary steps to address the severe risks faced by plaintiffs and the class. Defendants have opposed and continue to oppose. The U.S. Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General found that BOP had been slow to use authority given to it by the U.S. Attorney General to expeditiously consider medically vulnerable people for home confinement or other release to mitigate the effects of COVID-19. 20 defendants are thus themselves responsible for the crowded conditions that enable rapid spread of the virus within MCC, whose population remains well above design capacity and which has large numbers of residents packed into dormitory housing. Defendants' failures not only endanger people incarcerated at MCC, they put MCC staff, their family members, local healthcare workers, and the broader community at risk. 28. COVID-19 has predictably overwhelmed MCC, a 27-floor prison skyscraper, not once but twice. 29. The building, a unique triangular design, was structured to have inmate housing occupying floors 13 to 26.214 floors, 21 to 24, were originally designated for immigration. 19. Laura M. Maruzak, ETAL, Medical Problems of State and Federal Prisoners and Jail Inmates, 2011-12, U.S. Deputy of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Statistics, February 2015. Revised October 4, 2016, https://www.bjs.gov/content/pub/pdf/mpsfpg1112.pdf https://www.bjs.gov/content/pub/pdf/mpsfpg1112.pdf 20. Michael E. Horowitz, Top Management and Performance Challenges Facing the Department of Justice, 2020, U.S. Deputy of Justice, Off. Of the Inspector Gen. 12, October 16, 2020, https://oig.justice.gov/sites/default/files/reports/2020.pdf https://oig.justice.gov/sites/default/files/reports/2020.pdf 21. Robert Brugman and Kathleen Murphy Skolnick, The Architecture of Harry Weiss 178, 2010. Case 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29, 21 page 10 of 33 page ID #10 11. Detainees who were regarded as not need, ing, the security of a private room, and were typically held for only brief periods of time, and thus were housed in dormitory units planned to have 62 beds. 22. The remaining residential floors were built with cells, distributed around the perimeter of the triangle in 2 tiers, 44 cells total, with mini lounges for 4 groups of 11 cells located in the common area. In the middle. 23. The standard cell size on cell floors is 7 feet by 10 feet. 24. The design capacity of the building was approximately 400.25. The tightly organized space of the design was intended as a safeguard against future overcrowding. 26. Over the years, this has been thwarted by the addition of double bunks to many of the rooms and increased numbers of beds on the dormitory floors. Over 100 residents are currently crammed onto at least one of the dormitory floors. 30. On March 9, 2020, the governor of Illinois declared all counties in Illinois a disaster area because of COVID-19. Defendants barred visitors, lawyers in addition to family, and others on March 13, 2020, but took few other steps to protect MCC's population. 31. Internally, reports that staff were ill with COVID-19 began circulating early in March. On March 27, 2020, the BOP website acknowledged that 2 MCC staff had tested positive for COVID-19. 27. Around the same time, staff placed a large number of cots outside the gym, which was subsequently used for quarantine. But MCC still carried on business as usual in many respects. Inmates with jobs circulated throughout the facility to and from their jobs. 22 ID, 23 ID, 24 ID, figure P, 177, 178. 25 ID, 26 IDP, 179. 27 Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Coronavirus, March 27, 2020, http://web.archive.org/web/202031125396/bop.gov/coronavirus/. Case 1:21CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 11 of 33 page ID hashtag 11. 12. Including in the kitchen. Staff did not wear masks or use gloves, and residents were not provided with masks. 32. By the first part of April, the number of staff acknowledged to have tested positive was growing, 3 as of April 7, 2020 to 6 as of April 10, 2020. The BOP website reported no resident cases, but within MCC, word of mouth said otherwise. Nonetheless, it was not until mid to late April that MCC screened residents on its crowded and vulnerable dormitory floors, where bunk beds sit barely 3 feet apart. 33. On April 14, 2020, BOP acknowledged the first resident COVID-19 case at MCC. Finally, more than 1 month after Illinois was declared a disaster area, MCC stopped sending residents to their jobs within the facility. 34. Testing quickly revealed widespread infection among those tested, and the numbers escalated rapidly. By May 6, 2020, almost 1/4 of MCC's population, 133 residents, were acknowledged to have contracted the virus. 8 were hospitalized. 35. Once resident cases were finally acknowledged within MCC, defendants compounded their errors through gross mismanagement of isolation and quarantine. On March 23, 2020, the CDC had issued the first version of its guidance on the management of COVID-19 for prisons and jails. 28. Within a secure facility, proper management of isolation and quarantine is an essential tool in managing an outbreak of infectious respiratory disease. The CDC guidance was clear from the beginning of the pandemic that known COVID-19 cases must be medically isolated, while close contacts and others under investigation must be quarantined. 29. Ideally. 28. CTRS. For disease control and prevention, Interim Guidance on Management of Coronavirus Disease 2019, COVID-19, in Correctional and Detention Facilities, March 23, 2020, https://stacks.cdc.gov/view/cdc/86821 https://stacks.cdc.gov/view/cdc/86821 29 IDP 4. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th 21 page 12 of 33 page ID hashtag 12. 13. The guidance specified cases should be isolated individually and close contacts should be quarantined individually. However, if facility space did not permit this, then cohorting could be used. The practice of isolating multiple laboratory-confirmed COVID-19 cases together as a group, or quarantining close contacts of a particular case together as a group. 3036. Defendants have never implemented effective isolation, quarantining, or cohorting procedures at MCC, not in the spring of 2020, and not thereafter. 37. Initially, Defendant Heisner used the Secure Housing Unit, SHU, for isolation and/or quarantine, a unit typically used for disciplinary purposes. The conditions in the SHU are, by design, austere. Detainees and prisoners in the SHU are housed in small dark cells with a solid door with a check hole through which the food is passed. The unit is dirty and noisy. Defendant Heisner did not change the conditions in the SHU when converting it to the isolation/quarantine unit for people with known or suspected SARS-CoV-2 infection. 38. Predictably, by using the SHU for isolation/quarantine, Defendant Heisner incentivized MCC residents to hide their symptoms, a problem obvious to correctional managers and one that BOP, when it issued its own COVID-19 guidance, frankly acknowledged. 31 MCC took this approach, despite the recognition that security isolation should not be used to abate coronavirus transmission. 32 Since MCC, in accordance with BOP policy and practice, relied on symptom self-reporting by residents to determine when an outbreak was. 30 IDP 3. 31 Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Pandemic Response Plan, Module 4, Medical Isolation and Quarantine, September 8, 2020,
Wow.
P5, https
Wow.
/www.bop.gov/FOIA//mod_4_COVID_COVID_pandemic/C_COVID-COVID-2020 C_response_plan_0831200.pdf. 32 David Cloud, ETAL, the ethical use of medical isolation, not solitary confinement, to reduce COVID-19 transmission in correctional settings. Amend, University of California, San Francisco, April 9, 2020. https://amend.us/wp-content/uploads/2020/04/medical-isolation- versus solitary_amend.pdf.
Wow. Wow, y'all. This is deep. It's continuing. Just hold on. So they're revealing some of the stuff that these people were doing in the jail. Okay. I don't know why it's not playing. Hold on a second. It's almost over with. We're halfway there. I don't know why it stopped. It's probably got tired of reading. Hold on.
Probably froze up.
Huh?
It probably froze.
PDF https://amend.us/wp-content/uploads/2020/04/medical-isolation- versus solitary_amend.pdf. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th 21 page 13 of 33 page ID hashtag 13. 14. Occurring, defendants' misuse of security isolation disabled COVID-19 detection and mitigation in the facility from the start.
Wow.
39. As the number of COVID-19 cases among residents increased, Defendant Heisner moved numerous residents among the floors of MCC, enabling further spread of the virus. Individuals who were feeling sick or had tested positive were moved to floors with residents not yet under suspicion of infection.
Wow.
Stickers were placed on their doors indicating that they were quarantined. Nevertheless, these individuals used the same showers and phones as others on the floor who were not quarantined and shared the common airspace. 40. The spring outbreak was, unsurprisingly, worst on the dormitory floors. In or around mid to late April, Defendant Heisner had everyone on the 21st and 23rd floors tested. A very large number of those housed on these floors tested positive, but not all. COVID-19. Management processes outlined by the CDC and common sense dictated that individuals who tested positive for the coronavirus should be separated, isolated, from individuals who tested negative, and that those who tested negative should be cohort and kept under 14-day observation, quarantined. Defendants did not take these steps during the spring 2020 outbreak. Residents who tested positive and negative alike remained housed together on floors 21 and 23 and were only later separated. 41. On the cell floors not being used for isolation/quarantine. Despite having testing available, defendants continued to rely on symptom self-reporting to detect cases of COVID-19 among residents. Defendants elected to rely on symptom self-reporting in spite of the well-known and widely reported fact that a large percentage of SARS-CoV-2 transmission takes place through asymptomatic carriers, and despite the fact that defendants' use of punitive isolation settings for people with coronavirus infection or exposure created strong disincentives for Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 14 of 33 page ID hashtag 14. 15. Residents to self-report. Even MCC's symptom self-reporting was implemented in a haphazard way not likely to work. A nurse would walk through the cell floors, performing a drive-by tap on the cell doors and calling out, "Are you okay?" 42. But admitting symptoms was also not enough to receive testing and medical attention. Residents who clearly should have been tested and isolated during the spring 2020 coronavirus outbreak at MCC were not, even though they begged for attention. 43. In the early summer, in an incident witnessed by Mr. Price, a resident on the 19th floor, perhaps in his early 30s, was spitting up blood.
That's Rob's.
Responding staff, correctional officers, and lieutenants arrived in about 30 minutes. It appeared that no medical staff came with them. When the responders tried to put a mask on the resident, he took off the mask and said he could not breathe. Soon after, a lieutenant took a used garbage bag from a nearby garbage can and put the garbage bag over the resident's upper body, with some garbage still inside. The resident was moving around under the garbage bag and fell on the stairs as staff were escorting him.
Whoa!
Staff picked him up and put him on the elevator. One of the resident's family members, also detained on the 19th floor, said that other family members reported that his relative had been transported to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where he was put on a ventilator. 44. The haphazard and insufficient measures that led to the spring 2020 COVID-19 outbreak at MCC continued even after the outbreak. In the late summer, BOP issued its apparently first version of pandemic guidance, dated August 31st, 2020 to September 28, 2020. This directed facility management to periodically throughout the outbreak, and at the conclusion of it, review the implementation of your institution's COVID-19 pandemic. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 15 of 33 page ID hashtag 15. 16. Response plan to identify what has worked well or what has not. Identify areas for improvement, 3345. At MCC, nothing changed. Basic isolation and quarantine rules were still violated. Persons who had tested positive were housed with those who had not. MCC continued to rely on symptom self-reporting to identify sick residents, but as in the spring, some individuals did not report symptoms because they did not want to be relocated within MCC to the SHU or security isolation elsewhere. Others, however, begged for attention and testing but were ignored. 46. Unsurprisingly, and as warned by public health experts, a second COVID-19 outbreak overtook MCC in mid-November 2020. At its height, at the start of December, BOP reported that 127 MCC detainees and prisoners were once again sick, again over 20% of the population. These numbers understate the extent of the outbreak since universal testing is still not in place. Only once infection has spread within a floor are MCC residents widely tested, and by then it is too late. 47. Defendants' reliance on symptom self-reporting and its decision to eschew routine surveillance testing of staff and residents was ill-advised in the early stages of the pandemic and is unforgivable now. In the spring, the availability of COVID-19 testing was widely reported to be limited, although, on information and belief, MCC has had 2 Abbott lab testing machines since the spring. Regardless, there is no longer a dearth of testing and testing supplies for COVID-19 in Illinois. During the week of April 11th to 17th, 2020, the number of tests reported daily by the Illinois Department of Public Health, IDPH, ranged from a low of 4,848 to a high of 7,956. During the week of November 11th to 17th, 2020, the number of tests reported daily. 33. Federal Bureau of Prisons, COVID-19 Pandemic Response Plan Overview, August 31st, 2020 p. 7. https://www.bop.gov/foia/docs/overview_covid_pandemic_response_312020 https://www.bop.gov/foia/docs/over-view_covid_pandemic_response_plan_covid_plan_score-covid_score-pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemic_covid_pandemi 21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 16 of 33 page ID hashtag 16.
This is crazy.
17. By IDPH ranged from a low of 84,831 to a high of 106,540. Moreover, at all times, MCC has had available to it federal resources for COVID-19 testing not available to state or municipal governments. The BOP pandemic plan issued in late summer observes that, if the increased availability of testing supplies and the increased understanding of the epidemiology of transmission, expanded testing strategies have become an important tool in the prevention and management of COVID-19 infections. 3448. Routine surveillance testing of staff and residents, like that mandated for long-term care facilities, is now an established method to help keep SARS-CoV-2 out of crowded correctional settings and to create an early warning system to identify resident infections. Other correctional systems have implemented surveillance testing, including the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and the New Jersey Department of Corrections, which instituted its program in July 2020 after a major spring outbreak in its prisons. 49. Despite this and ongoing surges in COVID-19 cases in its facilities throughout the country, BOP has not instituted surveillance testing, and defendants have not done so at MCC in spite of 2 major outbreaks at the site, and the evidence that symptom self-reporting is insufficient. 50. MCC has also failed at other, simpler measures. One of the most familiar means to combat the spread of infectious disease is routine cleaning and sanitation. Since the very beginning of the pandemic, hand washing and regular cleaning and disinfection of shared surfaces have been among the staples of public health advice to prevent the spread of COVID-19. 34 Exhibit A to government's opposition to defendant's motion for compassionate release from incarceration, United States of America v. Pantone, No. 16 CR 10018D, Massachusetts, November 12, 2020, ECF 59-1. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 17 of 33 page ID hashtag 17. 18. 51. Providing residents with the means to keep themselves and their spaces clean. One of the few ways in which they can, however minimally, help control their fates, would seem straightforward, but defendants have failed this challenge as well. Bar soap, the recommended method of hygiene by the CDC, has been, and continues to be, limited at MCC. Residents are supposed to receive 1 small bar of soap each week. Especially with frequent hand washing, this bar will not last a week, and the bars sometimes run out before they are distributed to everyone. More soap can be purchased from commissary, 2 additional small bars every 2 weeks, but all residents do not have funds. 52. Residents on the cell floors are responsible for cleaning their own cells, but cleaning supplies have also been in short supply. Recently, laundry services have been sporadic as well, with bedding going unwashed for weeks, and even months at a time, forcing residents to wash their own sheets in trash buckets and hang them out to dry. 53. Liquid hand sanitizer is only permitted in dispensers in certain common locations, accessible primarily to staff and not to residents. These dispensers are often empty. 54. The cleaning of common areas is also haphazard. Most of these areas, showers, phones, computers used to email family, or iPads used for FaceTime calls, are in heavy use, frequently touched by dozens of residents in the course of a single day.
Wow.
On the 23rd floor, for instance, there are 4 showers and 4 toilets shared by over 100 men. Showers are cleaned after a large group has used them, not after each use. Phones and computers are likewise not cleaned regularly in spite of BOP directives. 55. On the dormitory floors, 21st and 23rd, residents are assigned to 4 sections within the floor. Around the beginning of May, defendant Heisner installed makeshift plexiglass dividers between the sections. Residents nonetheless move freely between the sections. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 18 of 33 page ID hashtag 18. 19. And have described the plexiglass dividers as additional surfaces that accumulate pathogens. These surfaces are also not regularly cleaned. 56. Disinfection is so poor that, in the middle of a viral pandemic, the 23rd floor, a dormitory floor, also experienced an outbreak of MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, starting in the summer of 2020. On information and belief, more than a dozen individuals on the floor had infections. One infection was so serious and so resistant to treatment that the patient had multiple hospitalizations before he was transferred out of MCC. This outbreak is still ongoing in January 2021. 57. Finally, defendants' policies, practices, and deployment of another straightforward preventative measure, masks, has also been systematically inadequate. Masks are universally recognized as one of the most important coronavirus transmission prevention measures and have been so for months, but defendants have also failed to use this tool to protect the residents of MCC. 58. Early in the pandemic, MCC residents were provided with some disposable masks. Later, they were provided cloth masks. But regular distribution of cloth masks ceased sometime in fall 2020. 59. Even more unconscionable, defendants have failed to ensure staff compliance with masking rules, although staff are the ones who go in and out of MCC on a daily basis into a community whose positivity rate has been as high as 10% or more recently. Staff pull down their masks to talk to residents or other staff, or wear them under their noses, or pulled down beneath their chin.
We've seen that.
60 at MCC, where visits have been suspended and the facility has been on restricted movement since March 2020, defendants' failure to ensure staff compliance with PPE usage. Case 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29th, 21 page 19 of 33 page ID #19. 20. Rules has enabled the transmission of COVID-19 amongst residents and continues to put the plaintiffs and class at risk of serious harm. 61. Defendants' last failed measure to contain COVID-19 has damaged residents psychologically and has failed to prevent coronavirus transmission. MCC has been on lockdown since mid-March. Although the intensity of lockdown has varied over time, at its worst, and recently, already fearful residents are locked in their cells for 23 or 24 hours a day, coming out 20 to 30 minutes 3 times each week for showers or phone calls to family, and often forced to choose between them due to the shortness of time. When the 23rd floor was put on lockdown again recently, one individual immediately attempted suicide.
Whoa!
Nevertheless, the lockdowns have not stopped rapid spread of COVID-19 throughout MCC. 62. Staff are also hard to find, increasing the anxiety and isolation of residents.
Whoa!
During the spring outbreak, they would creep onto floors via staircase entrances that were shielded from view of residents, so as to avoid interactions or answering questions. Case managers and other personnel, who should be on every residential floor regularly, are scarce. Plaintiffs Price and Conway have not seen the warden in months, and other senior staff are rarely in evidence.
Wow.
63. MCC's deplorable handling of COVID-19 is compounded by its generally inadequate healthcare, which has become worse during the pandemic and further compounds residents' anxiety. Routine healthcare requests are not attended to. A resident of the 23rd floor, a dormitory housing floor, with beds a few feet apart, who tested positive for tuberculosis had no follow-up tests
TB.
and slept among all the other residents on this crowded floor.
Jesus.
64. Mr. Price has gone without his blood pressure medicine, sometimes for weeks, during the pandemic, despite the fact that medical experts recognize that hypertension places. Case 1:21CV00542 document #1 filed January 29th, 21 page 20 of 33 page ID #20. 21. Individuals at increased risk for severe COVID-19 and that poorly controlled chronic health problems further elevate that risk. 3565. Finally, when residents do fall ill, the care they receive is shameful. Locked in isolation, a nurse may come by once a day. The only medication offered is Tylenol. The failure to monitor and properly treat ongoing cases of COVID-19 increases the likelihood of serious illness and death.
Wow.
66. Now that vaccines are available, the residents of MCC, like those of other detention and correctional facilities, deserve early access to the vaccine. This is especially the case since defendants have shown themselves incapable and unwilling to implement the measures to mitigate the spread of the virus urged by public health authorities from the very start of the pandemic, many months ago. But supplies are scarce, and even when MCC residents are offered the vaccines, the protective measures set forth above, at which defendants have so far failed, will continue to be essential for the foreseeable future, at least months and perhaps longer. It is currently unknown whether the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines render their recipients, in whole, or even in part, unable to transmit the virus to others. Vaccine acceptance, both inside and outside of MCC, may take some time to achieve. In the meantime, in addition to the other protective measures that must remain in place, defendants must undertake a robust program of vaccination education to ensure that MCC residents and staff understand and accept these new vaccines. Lack of such a program already has damaged residents' trust of the vaccines. 35 CTRS for disease control and prevention, COVID-19, people with certain medical conditions, updated, December 29th, 2020. https://www.cdc.gov/coronavirus/2019-NCOV/need-extra-precautions/people with medical conditions.html.
It is freezing again. 313, I don't know why this thing keeps freezing like this.
What happened?
It's freezing again. Hold on. It's almost finished, y'all. We got about what? 10 more reading. Let's see. It's stuck. Let me go in here. Let's see if we can get it down a little bit.
Class Allegations 67.
There we go.
Pursuant to Rules 23A and 23B2 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, plaintiffs bring this action as a class consisting of all persons confined or to be confined in MCC, including as subclasses: A. Persons confined pretrial subclass, and B. Persons confined pursuant to a judgment of conviction, post-conviction subclass. Plaintiffs reserve the right to amend the class definition or establish subclasses as appropriate if discovery or further investigation reveals the class should be expanded or otherwise modified. 68. Numerosity. Rule 23A1. The class is so numerous that joinder is impracticable. Based upon information reported by BOP, the size of the class is between 500 and 600 people, and is therefore so numerous that joinder is inherently impracticable for that reason alone. Similarly, the pretrial subclass consists of around 90% of all MCC residents. Around 450 or more people. The post-conviction subclass also satisfies numerosity because at any given moment, there are between 40 and 100 MCC residents who are in the facility post-conviction. Joinder is also inherently impracticable for other, independent reasons. The class and each subclass includes unnamed, future class members who cannot by definition be joined. Further, proposed class members are highly unlikely to file individual suits on their own, as all are incarcerated and many are indigent, and thus have limited access to their retained or court-appointed counsel, are currently incarcerated, fear retaliation from filing suits against defendants, and lack access and financial resources to obtain qualified counsel to bring such suits. 69. Commonality. Rule 23A2. The claims of the class and subclasses share common issues of fact and law, including, but not limited to whether defendants' policies and procedures, or lack thereof, as to the prevention, mitigation, and management of COVID-19 in Case 1:21 CV00542 document #1 filed January 29th, 21 page 22 of 33 page ID #22. 23. MCC policies and procedures that affect all proposed class members, put the class at substantial risk of serious harm, and violate the Fifth and Eighth Amendments to the United States Constitution and the Administrative Procedure Act. The resolution of these questions will drive the outcome of the litigation. 70. Typicality. Rule 23A3. The claims of plaintiffs are typical of those of the class as a whole, because each plaintiff is currently in defendant's custody and plaintiff's claims arise from the same policies and procedures, or lack thereof, that provide the basis for all proposed class members' claims. 71. Adequacy. Rule 23A4. Plaintiffs are adequate class representatives who meet all of the requirements of Rule 23A4. They have no conflicts of interest in this case with other class members. They will fairly and adequately represent the interests of the class and subclasses. Mr. Price is a member of the pretrial subclass, and Mr. Conway is a member of the post-conviction subclass. Each plaintiff understands the responsibilities of a class and subclass representative. Counsel for plaintiffs will vigorously prosecute the interests of the class and subclasses and include attorneys with extensive experience with the factual and legal issues involved in representing jail and prison inmates, in asserting constitutional rights, and/or in pursuing class actions. 72. Rule 23, B. To the proposed class and subclasses satisfy the requirements of Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 23, B2, in that defendants' policies and procedures, or lack thereof, as to the prevention, mitigation, and management of COVID-19 in MCC constitute action and refusal to act on grounds generally applicable to the class and each subclass, and final injunctive relief and corresponding declaratory relief are appropriate respecting the class as a whole and each subclass. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 23 of 33 page ID hashtag 23. 24. Count I Administrative Procedure Act 5 U.S.C. 702, 706, 2, violation of 18 U.S.C. 4042, A2, and implementing regulations, plaintiffs, and the class against defendant Federal Bureau of Prisons for injunctive and declaratory relief, 73. Plaintiffs incorporate all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 74. Plaintiffs and the class are entitled to care and safekeeping while in BOP custody.
Wow.
18 U.S.C. 4042, A2, requires BOP to provide for the safekeeping, care, and subsistence of all persons charged with or convicted of offenses against the United States. 75. BOP regulation requires the agency to manage infectious diseases in its facilities through a comprehensive approach, which includes testing, appropriate treatment, prevention, education, and infection control measures. 28 CFR 549.10. 76. BOP regulation also prohibits detainees and prisoners with infectious diseases transmitted through casual contact from work assignments in any area until fully evaluated by a healthcare provider. 28 CFR 549.13a. The same regulation prohibits the disciplinary action against an individual in BOP custody solely on the basis of a positive result for an infectious disease. ID 549.13c. BOP regulation also requires each facility's clinical director to assess residents with infectious diseases for appropriate programming, duty, and housing. ID 549.13a. 77. Despite these directives, defendant has failed, and continues to fail, to provide an adequate level of care and safekeeping to plaintiffs and the class as evidenced, inter alia, by the fact that MCC has had not one but two major outbreaks of COVID-19 causing physical suffering and psychological distress to plaintiffs and the class. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 24 of 33 page ID hashtag 24. 25. 78. Moreover, defendant's failure to follow BOP regulations contributes to the failure to provide for the safekeeping and care of plaintiffs and the class. Defendant allowed individuals who had confirmed cases of COVID-19 or who were suspected of having COVID-19 to continue their work assignments. Defendant also disciplined residents by placing them in the secure housing unit solely because they had COVID-19 or were suspected of having COVID-19. Defendant continues to engage in these practices contrary to BOP regulations. 79. Defendant has also failed to follow BOP regulations requiring a comprehensive approach to the management of infectious disease, which includes testing, appropriate treatment, prevention, education, and infection control measures by suppressing testing and failing to ensure routine surveillance testing of staff and residents, failing to provide appropriate treatment, failing to ensure consistent use of masks and other PPE by staff and residents, failing
We got proof of that, y'all.
to educate staff, inmates, and visitors about precautions they could take to avoid transmission, failing to implement proper isolation and quarantine procedures, failing to sanitize and maintain the physical plant in order to prevent spread of infection, failing to institute early and comprehensive vaccination of residents and staff, and failing to deploy robust vaccination and PPE use campaigns, and other measures. 80. To the extent defendant has acted at all, the ineffective measures BOP has deployed to manage the virus at MCC have not only failed to contain it, but inflicted and continue to inflict grave psychological injury on all residents, as well as needless pain and suffering on those who have contracted COVID-19. 81. As a consequence of defendant's past and continuing failure to follow its statutory obligations and its own regulations, Mr. Price, Mr. Conway, and members of the class face an ongoing risk of severe harm from COVID-19. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 25 of 33 page ID hashtag 25. 26. 82. BOP's failure to follow its own regulations is arbitrary, capricious, an abuse of discretion, and otherwise unauthorized by law in violation of the Administrative Procedure Act. 5 U.S.C. 706-2. Count 2 Fifth Amendment, Armstrong v. Exceptional Child Center, Inc., 575 U.S. 320, 2015, Plaintiff Price, and the pretrial subclass against all defendants, 83. Plaintiffs incorporate all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 84. The Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees pretrial detainees a due process right to conditions of reasonable health and safety, which requires protection from risks of serious harm and adequate medical care for serious health needs. 85. The Fifth Amendment also prohibits the punishment of pretrial detainees. 86. The conditions at MCC pose substantial risks of serious harm to Plaintiff Price and the members of the pretrial subclass, and defendant's conduct as to this risk of harm is objectively unreasonable and evidence is purposeful, knowing, or reckless disregard of the consequences. Miranda v. County of Lake, 900 F.3d 335, 7th Circle 2018. Hardiman v. Curran, 933 F.3d 816, 7th Circle 2019. Defendants have failed to develop and implement effective policies and procedures for preventing and mitigating coronavirus transmission in MCC, and have failed to implement and enforce those policies and procedures which they do have to protect Mr. Price and the pretrial subclass from known risks of serious harm, both physical and psychological. 10 months into the pandemic, defendants have failed meaningfully to modify and improve their infection prevention and mitigation procedures, which has now led to not one but two major outbreaks of COVID-19 at MCC. In addition, defendants' months-long reliance on lockdowns, which have proved unable to stop the spread of COVID-19 through MCC, have caused and will. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 26 of 33 page ID hashtag 26. 27. Continue to cause depression, anxiety, and other damaging physical and psychological effects for Mr. Price and the pretrial subclass. 87. Defendants also fail to provide adequate care for those who have contracted COVID-19 at MCC. In this as well, their conduct is objectively unreasonable and evidence is purposeful, knowing, or reckless disregard of the consequences. 88. As a result of defendants' unconstitutional actions and inactions, Plaintiff Price and the pretrial subclass are suffering irreparable injury. Count 3 8th Amendment, Armstrong v. Exceptional Child Center, Inc., 575 U.S. 320, 2015, Plaintiff Conway, and the post-conviction subclass against all defendants, 89. Plaintiffs incorporate all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 90. The Eighth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects Plaintiff Conway and members of the post-conviction subclass from cruel and unusual punishment. 91. Prison conditions, 1, which pose an unreasonable risk of serious damage to a prisoner's health and 2, to which prison officials have acted with deliberate indifference constitute the infliction of cruel and unusual punishment. Helling v. McKinney, 509 U.S. 25, 33, 35, 1993. 92. The SARS-CoV-2 virus and the disease it causes poses substantial risks of serious harm to Plaintiff Conway and the members of the post-conviction subclass who are typically housed on MCC's dormitory housing floors. To the extent defendants have acted at all, the ineffective measures defendants have deployed to manage the virus have not only failed to contain the coronavirus, exposing Mr. Conway and the post-conviction subclass to substantial risks of serious harm, but also have inflicted and continue to inflict grave psychological injury. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 27 of 33 page ID hashtag 27. 28. In addition, defendants have inflicted needless pain and suffering on those who have contracted COVID-19 by their failure to provide minimally adequate medical care and exposed them to further risks of harm as a result. 93. Defendants are aware of these risks, but have acted with deliberate indifference to them by failing to implement effective policies and procedures, and failing to implement and enforce those policies and procedures which they do have to protect Plaintiff Conway and the post-conviction subclass from known risks of serious harm, both physical and psychological. Further, 10 months into the pandemic, and despite 2 outbreaks of COVID-19, defendants have persisted in courses of action which they know to be ineffective to prevent the entry of the virus into MCC or to stop the spread of the virus once inside the facility. 94. As a result of defendants' actions, Plaintiff Conway and the post-conviction subclass are suffering irreparable injury. Count 4. 8th Amendment, Bivens, Plaintiff Conway, and the post-conviction subclass against defendants Carvajal, Heisner, and Dife, 95. Plaintiffs incorporate all of the preceding paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 96. The 8th Amendment to the United States Constitution protects Plaintiff Conway and members of the proposed post-conviction subclass from cruel and unusual punishment. 97. The Supreme Court has recognized Bivens' theories in the context of 8th Amendment deliberate indifference to serious medical needs. Carlson v. Green, 446 U.S. 14, 1980. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29, 21 page 28 of 33 page ID hashtag 28. 29. 98. The Seventh Circuit has recognized that plaintiffs may seek injunctive relief through a Bivens claim. Bunn v. Conley, 309 F.3d 1002, 1009, 7th Circle 2002. See also Robinson v. Sherrod, 631 F.3d 839, 842, 7th Circle 2011. Prospective relief is available in a Bivens action. Gloss v. Anderson, 408 F.3d 382, 389, 7th Circle 2005. 99. Prison conditions, 1, which pose an unreasonable risk of serious damage to a prisoner's health, and 2, to which prison officials have acted with deliberate indifference constitute the infliction of cruel and unusual punishment. Helling v. McKinney, 509 U.S. 25, 33, 35, 1993. 100. The SARS-CoV-2 virus and the disease it causes poses substantial risks of serious harm to Plaintiff Conway and the members of the post-conviction subclass who are typically housed on MCC's dormitory housing floors. To the extent defendants have acted at all, the ineffective measures defendants have deployed to manage the virus have not only failed to contain the coronavirus, exposing Mr. Conway and the post-conviction subclass to substantial risks of serious harm, but also have inflicted and continue to inflict grave psychological injury. In addition, defendants have inflicted needless pain and suffering on those who have contracted COVID-19 by their failure to provide minimally adequate medical care and exposed them to further risks of harm as a result. 101. Defendants are aware of these risks, but have acted with deliberate indifference to them by failing to implement effective policies and procedures, and failing to implement and enforce those policies and procedures which they do have to protect Plaintiff Conway and the post-conviction subclass from known risks of serious harm, both physical and psychological. Further, 10 months into the pandemic, and despite 2 outbreaks of COVID-19, defendants. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 29 of 33 page ID hashtag 29. 30. Have persisted in courses of action which they know to be ineffective to prevent the entry of the virus into MCC, or to stop the spread of the virus once inside the facility. 102. As a result of defendants' actions, Plaintiff Conway and the post-conviction subclass are suffering irreparable injury. 4. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiffs and the class members respectfully request that the court order the following relief. A. Enter a declaratory judgment that defendants have failed to provide an adequate level of care and safekeeping to plaintiffs and the class in violation of 18 U.S.C. 4042, A2, and 5 U.S.C. 702, B. Enter a declaratory judgment that defendants' policies and practices at MCC violate the Fifth Amendment right to conditions of reasonable safety, including protection against harm and to adequate medical care with respect to Plaintiff Price and the pretrial subclass. C. Enter a declaratory judgment that defendants' policies and practices at MCC violate the Eighth Amendment right to be free of cruel and unusual punishment with respect to Plaintiff Conway and the post-conviction subclass. D. Order defendants to create and implement a mitigation plan for prevention and treatment of COVID-19 at MCC that includes 1. Education to promote COVID-19 vaccination for all MCC residents and staff, in collaboration with local, state, and federal health officials, to maximize vaccine uptake. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 30 of 33 page ID hashtag 30. 31. 2. Development of a vaccination plan for MCC residents in order of decreasing risk of severe illness, starting with residents age 55 and older, and those with comorbidities. 3. Vaccination of all MCC residents and staff as soon as possible. 4. Aggressive testing using an Abbott antigen test, AG, with rapid test results within 12 to 24 hours for screening of symptomatic detainees and employees, and the use of a highly sensitive PCR test, PCR, for asymptomatic screening with a 48-hour turnaround for results of A. All 550 residents, once, PCR, B. All new residents, at intake, in a separate and safe space, PCR, C. All staff, weekly, with frequency of testing determined by the percent positive, PCR, D. All symptomatic residents and staff, AGE. Implementation of a simple information technology system to maintain testing data safely and reliably for ongoing monitoring and reporting. 5. Isolation of all COVID-positive MCC residents in a separate ward or block of rooms. 6. Quarantine of all symptomatic MCC residents who are SUIs, suspects under investigation, in a separate ward or block of rooms, apart from the COVID-positive MCC residents and the general MCC population. 7. Rapid identification, diagnosis, isolation, delivery of, or transfer for, the appropriate level of medical care for MCC residents with moderate severe COVID-19 illness. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 31 of 33 page ID hashtag 31. 32. 8. Hiring an infectious disease / public health expert to advise and monitor COVID control efforts. 9. Transparency of all COVID-19 data, plans, and guidance for and staff to offer timely information, e.g. with daily or weekly updates on a website. 10. Universal masking and procedures to enforce mask wearing and to launder or sterilize masks in order to maintain a supply of clean masks. 11. Reliable symptom screening of MCC residents to identify selected residents for rapid COVID testing and movement into SUI cohort housing. 12. Mental health measures to address isolation, depression, self-harm, and suicidal ideation in MCC residents in conjunction with greater access to phones, e-visits, and yard or exercise time. 13. Hand washing and or sanitation with widely available soap and water, or hand sanitizer stations, throughout the facility, and signage to reinforce frequent hand washing, together with regular laundry services. 14. Systematic cleaning and surface sanitation of all common points of contact, i.e. doorknobs, public phones, multi-use tablets, banisters, faucets, toilet handles, etc. 15. Consultation with infection control expert engineers regarding feasible improvements in HVAC ventilation and filtration systems, and in cohort analysis of stool for COVID-19 positive housing areas. Certify this case as a class action, including by certifying the class defined above, Super 67, the subclass of MCC pretrial detainees defined above, Super 67A, and the subclass of post-conviction MCC residents defined above, Super 67B. Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 29th, 21 page 32 of 33 page ID hashtag 32. 33. F. Award plaintiff's attorney's fees and costs as provided by statute and law, and G. Award such other relief as the court deems just, proper, and equitable. Dated January 29th, 2021. Respectfully submitted. /S/Camille E. Bennett. Camille E. Bennett, Nusrat Jahan Chowdhury, Allison M. Bain, Emily Hirsch, Roger Baldwin Foundation of ACLU Incorporated. 150 North Michigan Avenue, Suite 600, Chicago, Illinois, 606013122, 201. 9740 Bennett at acluil.org. Bennett at acluil.org and Chowdhury at aclu-il.org and Chowdhury at aclu-il.org and Chowdhury at aclu-il.org. Bain at aclu-il.org. Bain at aclu-il.org. Bain at aclu-il.org. E. Hirsch at aclu-il.org.
Okay.
Hirsch at aclu-il.org.
Okay, that is the end of
Hirsch at aclu-il.org. Attorneys for plaintiffs.
Hold on a second.
Case 1:21 CV00542 document hashtag 1 filed January 20.
Okay, I had to stop it. Okay. Hey guys, some of you guys have come in late. What I was just playing is the actual class action that was submitted against the MCC of Chicago. Okay, here's why I wanted you guys to know what was happening. Because Robert was housed on the 19th floor before. I don't know where he's at now, and he has been submitted in the chute. I wanted you guys to be aware what was happening inside of MCC. I was just reading one of the comment, Mr. Khalif Davis. I'm going to read his comment here. He says, don't get excited. This COVID-driven class action on behalf of the inmate is one of the hundreds of filed that at this and other prison over the country since early 2020. It's a desperate reach. Mr. Davis, I'm going to disagree with you on that. It's not a desperate reach. Here's why. I have information. If you go to bop.gov, you will see the different things that has been implemented since other cases in class action has started. That is one of the reasons why some people have gotten early releases, because of class actions that's been going on. So it's not a far reach. It's just that this particular prison has not even been affected that much, and now these people have been affected. The other thing too, I have a video. Mr. 313, are you there? I have a video myself when we went to do the march, and we witnessed the workers going in there without mask. And that video is being submitted to the attorneys that's doing this case. So, the other thing too, I wanted to bring to you guys' attention, and you guys probably need to write to that attorney. I'm going to bring her and their information up, because this is a nonprofit organization who's working on behalf of the prisoners in prison who have been treated unfairly. You know, there was something else I wanted to say. I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. I forgot something else about to say, y'all. I forgot. Got too much in this brain here. Somebody just sent something to me. Hold on. Just bear with me a second. But let me play what I was going to do. Is play some of the changes that has occurred since the beginning of other lawsuits. Hold on a second. Other lawsuits. Thank you, PDQ. Guys, thank you. I just can't stand negative Nancy's, because okay, you know how I get, right? But let me just put up, let them read this here. Let me put this up here because I have to show proof, because folks, I don't like saying things unless I show documentation of what was happening. I'm going to show you this, and also I'm going to show you the video of when we address some of the people, the correction officers going inside without masks, how we made a stink about it. We made some comments about it. This is just for you guys to see that the inmate is not lying. There's stuff going on inside. We don't know what's going on the inside. You said what? No. Okay. We don't know what's going on the inside. We seen stuff from the outside. We saw inmates going in from the outside, but I don't know, inside, because I've never been inside of MCC other than the front thing. When I asked them questions before we started marching, I went in to ask them question of, about, how he was doing and things like that. Which, they could have lied to me, might have lied, but anyway, but I did go in there a couple of times to ask questions. I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys so you can see that. Mr. 313, did you fall asleep on me?
No, I didn't.
You did, didn't you?
I didn't.
I'm just playing with you. Okay, let me play this for you guys. Let me share this part so you guys can have some information. Okay, I'm going to close this out. And this is some of the modification. This was updated as of November 25th, okay? It's not going to be a long read. I'm going to let this thing read for you guys. Yeah, you remember PDQ? They were not wearing masks when we were standing out there, and we made some noise. We said some things about it. Yeah, you remember. Tippy said, yeah, you guys were jumping on remember that? I'm going to show that. So when they said that the staff weren't wearing masks or had the mask under their nose, I could believe that, because we saw some going in there without masks. And they were on the outside. It's not a desperate reach. You're right, Gucci. Because those inmates don't do something, nothing will get. Exactly. You have to do something. And this is why some of this stuff is being implemented. Let me show you some of the stuff that has been changed as of the 25th. So they're making noise. Remember, this is federal government. This is not one of those little mom and pop jails that's inside where people do what they want to do. This is the federal government. They have to go by the Constitution, what the Constitution says, But the only way they You said they were coming out the door not wearing exactly PDQ. You were there. All right, here we go. I'm gonna share this and it's gonna read it for you guys because shout out to Miss You Digging Me for giving me the power not to having to read or bring people in to read. Okay, guys, can you see this? Can you see this? Y'all can see that, right? This is updated on November 25th, right? Last year, a couple of months ago. And this is some of the stuff that has happened because of the class action lawsuit from different areas. I don't think anything has ever been, but I could get that information for you from Chicago or Illinois area if there was a class action. I do not believe it. I know for a fact there was one in California and a fact there was one in New York. I don't know anything about Illinois, but I know those other two states had class action because those people were being treated unfairly. That's the reason why a lot of people got early release because of the class action. So things are being done. It's not a far reach. I'm sorry that you are so negative. You're probably not for Rob anyway, but you got to go for whatever you could go for. And I believe doing this class action gonna cause some sort of noise, gonna bring attention and awareness to something, and it's better than them suffering behind closed doors and not knowing anything that's happening to them. So I'm getting ready to play this for you guys so you can listen to it, okay? I hate when people come in and sorry. I hate when people come in without giving some facts. Just blah, blah, blah. All right, here we go. My trusty reading thing here. Hold on, it's setting itself up. Shout out to You Digging Me.
BOP modified operations. In order to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, the BOP is operating under the following conditions. Updated, November 25th, 2020. Social visiting. The BOP recognizes the importance for inmates to maintain relationships with friends and family. During modified operations in response to COVID-19, the BOP suspended social visitation. However, inmates were afforded 500 versus 300 telephone minutes per month at no charge to help compensate for the suspension of social visits. As a modification of the BOP's Phase 9 action plan, and in accordance with specific guidance designed to mitigate risks, social visits are being reinstated, where possible to maintain the safety of our staff, inmates, visitors, and communities. Each individual institution has made plans consistent with their institutional resources, including physical space, and will continuously monitor their visiting plan and make prompt modifications, as necessary, to effectively manage COVID-19. Such modification may include limiting or postponing visitation, providing visitation by appointment, or other adjustments as appropriate. All visits will be non-contact and social distancing between inmates and visitors will be enforced, either via the use of plexiglass or similar barriers, or physical distancing, i.e., 6 feet apart. Inmates in quarantine or isolation will not participate in social visiting. The number of visitors allowed in the visiting room will be based on available space when utilizing social distancing. The frequency and length of visits will be established to ensure all inmates have an opportunity to visit at least twice a month. Visitors will be symptom screened and temperature checked. Visitors who are sick or symptomatic will not be allowed to visit. Both inmates and visitors must wear appropriate face coverings, e.g. no bandanas, at all times, and will perform hand hygiene just before and after the visit. Tables, chairs, and other high-touch surfaces will be disinfected between visitation groups. All areas, to include lobbies, will be cleaned following the completion of visiting each day. In addition to screening and testing inmates, temperature checks and COVID-19 screening is being conducted for staff, contractors, and other visitors to our correctional institutions, with those who register a temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, or higher denied access to the building. As much as possible, staff are being assigned to the same posts and not rotating, as an additional measure to mitigate the spread of the virus. It is our highest priority to continue to do everything we can to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in our facilities. Therefore, every CDC recommended precaution will be incorporated into our revised visiting procedures. More information about each institution's revised visiting procedures and schedule will be forthcoming and posted on www.bop.gov. Legal access. As courts begin to conduct more criminal and civil proceedings, inmates will need increased access to counsel and legal materials. Legal calls and/or virtual legal visits, telephone calls, and/or video conferencing with outside counsel is accommodated to the extent possible. In-person legal visits. Consistent with standing guidance, in-person legal visits are accommodated upon request, based on local resources, and will follow preventative protocols, e.g. face coverings required. Modified operations. BOP has implemented modified operations to maximize social distancing in our facilities, as much as practicable. To that end, inmates are limited in their movements to prevent congregate gathering and maximize social distancing. Essential inmate work details, such as food service, continue to operate with appropriate screening. Inmate movement in small numbers is authorized for the following purposes. 1. Commissary. 2. Laundry. 3. Showers 3 times each week. 4. Telephone, to include legal calls and access to Trolinks. Note that inmate movement is still expected to allow, when necessary, for the provision of required mental health or medical care, including continued sick call. Select Unicere operations also continue. Programming. Inmate programming is an essential function in our facilities, and delivery of First Step Act-approved evidence-based recidivism reduction, EBRR, programs and productive activities, PAs, is required by law. Institutions are offering programming to the extent practicable. Institutions with active COVID-19 cases may make exceptions to these programming requirements for the safety of inmates and staff. Intakes. Prior to entering the institution, or in receiving and discharge, all new intakes to an institution, including voluntary surrenders, BOP to BOP transfers, or transfers from outside the BOP system are screened by medical staff for COVID-19, including a symptom screen, a temperature check, and an approved viral PCR test, either an Abbott ID Now point of care, POC, test or a commercial PCR test, performed on a sample obtained from a nasopharyngeal, mid-turbinate, or anterior nares swab. Inmates who arrive symptomatic and/or test positive will be placed in medical isolation. Inmates who arrive asymptomatic and test negative will be placed in quarantine. If inmates become symptomatic during quarantine, they are retested, Abbott or commercial, and placed in medical isolation immediately. If inmates remain asymptomatic, they remain in quarantine for at least 14 days. They are then tested out of quarantine with a commercial PCR test at 14 days or after. If the test is negative, the inmate can be released to the general population. If the test is positive, they are placed in medical isolation immediately. Movement. Movement of inmates can be a simple, short-distance transfer or a complex, multi-day, multi-institution process. The risk of COVID-19 exposure and transmission increases as the complexity of the move increases. Transportation of inmates occurs with these considerations in mind. Anyone with a known positive COVID-19 test or who has fever or symptoms will not be admitted on the transport. All inmates who are transferring between facilities to other correctional jurisdictions or releasing from BOP custody are managed in one of the following 3 categories briefly described below. 1. Inmates with no prior history of COVID-19. Prior to transfer, these inmates are tested with an approved test, either an Abbott ID Now POC test or commercial send-out lab test, and, if negative, placed in release/transfer quarantine, and housed separately from inmates in exposure or intake quarantine. Inmates remain in quarantine for a minimum of 14 days. They may be tested out of quarantine on day 14 with a commercial PCR lab test or an Abbott ID Now test. 2. Inmates previously diagnosed with COVID-19 who have since recovered and have met the current criteria for release from isolation. Inmates who are more than 90 days since initial symptom onset or positive test and have met criteria for release from medical isolation and are more than 90 days from their initial symptom onset for symptomatic cases or initial positive COVID-19 test for asymptomatic cases are managed like inmates who have not had COVID-19. See number 1 above. Note, inmates with active COVID-19 who continue to require isolation are not released or transferred unless absolutely necessary. Example, immediate release, completion of sentence. 3. Immediate releases. An inmate being released who cannot be managed as described above under number 1 and number 2 because of statutory or judicial requirements is provided a symptom screen, temperature check, and rapid POC test, Abbott ID Now, on the day of departure. The local health authorities in the receiving locality are notified, and the travel arrangements coordinated with them, if necessary. Example, if quarantine or isolation conditions are required during transportation or upon their arrival. The inmate is required to wear a face covering when departing the facility and while en route to their destination. Screening. In addition to screening and testing inmates, temperature checks and COVID-19 screening is being conducted for staff, contractors, and other visitors to our correctional institutions, with those who register a temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher denied access to the building. As much as possible, staff are being assigned to the same posts and not rotating, as an additional measure to mitigate the spread of the virus. Volunteers and contractors. Volunteer visits, with the exception of visitation volunteers and faith-based volunteers, are suspended unless approved by the Deputy Director of the BOP. Visitation volunteers provide mentoring services through one-on-one visits with inmates in the visiting room during normal visiting hours. Alternate means of communication will be considered for inmates who request to speak with a religious advisor. Volunteers who are approved for access will be screened using the same procedures as staff prior to entry. Contractors performing essential services, religious worship services, or necessary maintenance on essential systems are allowed to enter the facility, but must undergo a COVID-19 screening and temperature check prior to entry. When performing screening activities, staff or contractors wear PPE in accordance with guidance from the BOP and CDC. Tours are suspended. Any exceptions must be approved by the Deputy Director. If approved, participants will be screened using the same procedures as staff prior to entry. Staff training. All in-person training is suspended through October 31st, 2020. Exceptions to in-person training includes ICT-I, ICT-2, completion of mandatory requirements for annual training, OSHA-mandated certifications, and any training that can be conducted remotely to fulfill ongoing mandatory credentialing requirements that cannot be waived. Staff travel. All non-essential official staff travel is suspended through October 31st, 2020. Private detention contractors. This COVID-19 guidance is being shared with private prisons and RRCs for dissemination to staff and inmates in these facilities, so that similar protocols can be implemented. The BOP is committed to protecting the health and welfare of those individuals entrusted to our care, as well as our staff, their families, and the communities where we live and work.
Okay, let me put the link in there for Gucci or anybody who wants to come in and discuss what we just played. I'm not going to stay any more longer than this. We're at our two-hour mark. You know me, right? You know that, right? You know I am. Khalif, welcome. I guess you're new to this channel. Thank you. I am very, very dedicated to this. I am, and I will. I mean, I'll fight to the end because I believe everyone who has not gone to trial are presumed innocent until otherwise found. So I'm going to fight to the end for Mr. Kelly. Anybody got any questions? Okay. Gucci is talking to Khalif. Oh, Khalif. Okay, you put a comment and they said cruel and unusual punishment is what happened when you go to jail. The jail doesn't care. Doesn't okay. Gucci. You might have to mute because I hear the other. It's like a repeat.
What's up, Sil?
Hey, Gooch, how are you doing?
All right, can I answer a question? Somebody in your chat asked me how many times I've been locked up. It's not about how many times I've been locked up. It's about if you close your damn mouth, you don't get result. So by them filing a class action lawsuit, I bet you it get paid attention to, and I bet you they get better treatment. That's the problem, okay? Everybody always want to say this not going to work, but they don't do it themselves. That's why as a race, we don't have shit because we don't want to do nothing. We want somebody to do it for us. Okay? I know too many people in the federal system that do lawsuit and stuff work. You don't have to be a scientist to realize that if you file something, that's how you get results. Okay?
Perfect example. Had the lawsuit had not been filed, we wouldn't even know about it. We wouldn't even know what was going on. So obviously there is some sort of notice is being done. So now what we can do, we can jump on that bandwagon, provide information to, because I'm going to provide information to that lawsuit that will strengthen their lawsuit. I am, because I have video recording of when we went out there to the march and we witnessed the staff members going there without a mask.
Yeah, I saw that one when y'all was playing it.
And it's awareness. It's awareness. And my thing is, I believe in doing something. Sitting down doing nothing does not help anything. But class action start. It's awareness. It's bringing attention to something that's happened behind bars. So I'm not going to be negative about anything. I'm going to be optimistic because I go by what the word of God said, and I stick on that.
Closed mouth don't get fed. Bottom line.
I don't work on luck. I work by the power of God. Because regardless of what, everything happens by just a little bit of awareness. It starts off with awareness.
Let me tell you something, Sylvia. Let me explain something to you, okay? Everything you do, you make a change in something, okay? Mm-hmm. When these guys, and what they got to remember, federal detention are different from state detention, okay? Because federal detention, you still can vote. A lot of state don't even push for you to vote when they lock you up in detention. But all the federal facilities do.
He says don't be defensive. I'm not defensive at all. I'm just giving you.
Ain't nobody being defensive, but he need to keep that shit to himself. Talk about nothing. That's why we in the predicament we are, because we always want to talk about, oh, it's a waste of time. It's this. It's not. You think that young man in jail that got this stuff going? Why you think it's a waste of time? And he's seen all this stuff done. He's seen how these people don't care, but the warden sit at home in his house where nothing happened, but don't care about the job he got, about the job that our tax pay. A lot of people may not pay tax, but I pay a lot.
I like what Patrick says. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That is so right, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. That's the right word, Patrick. That's the right word, because like you said, closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't stand up for what you believe, ain't nothing gonna happen.
And the other saying, quickest wheel gets the oil. So the one that makes the most noise gets the oil. I can tell you that new superseding indictment is coming in New York case. If you don't gonna get him out, you better do it quick. Okay.
Trolling.
Trolling here.
Hey, man, block that person off this shit with that bullshit. Tell him to go over there with the supersede.
Let's take care of it.
That's somebody doing
get them
something
over
that
there.
they had
Somebody
planned.
over there telling truth. It's somebody that's hiding. See, the thing is, they're gonna make up names. They can't pick them out to who they are. You know, when they start saying stuff like that. Okay.
Probably that damn bozo from the Bay side. Probably him.
They said you can't handle the truth.
I ain't gotta handle no truth because shit. I'm sitting on my couch at home.
Tasha K gonna tell you guys what the truth is for you guys now. Tasha K got you. Tasha get you. I'll see how Tasha's gonna handle you guys. I ain't gotta worry about it. Tasha got you guys.
That's funny as hell. Anyway, what's happening, Mr. 313?
Nothing. I knew that person was there intentionally for a reason. I seen it coming. Because I didn't see what was the point of.
Yeah, I was sitting listening to y'all peacefully, but when he gonna call my name, like what the hell? You such a dumbass. Don't you know if you don't stand for nothing? Why you think people always claim? Why you think people always say, "Oh, the criminal justice is out to get black folks"? You know why? Because of ignorant people like him who sat and don't want to do nothing. That's why.
Tasha's the known liar, but you guys utilized her. You guys utilize her.
Oh, please. I hope Tasha K ain't lying about nothing.
Look, Tasha K is a liar now because she's not sticking to their story.
Right.
Because she not biased.
Right.
She taking the information.
Look, you heard what Randy just said? Just said, Scoochie, stop cursing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Randy. I'm sorry. I forgot what channel.
She can't get on here and do it, Gucci. It's all right, man.
Huh?
Oh, that. Uh-oh, let me duck.
What you say?
I'm ducking. Sylvia, I'm ducking.
313, what you say?
I don't want to.
What?
What you say?
You know what?
Rewind the video there. You starting shit. I mean, stuff now.
Stop cussing.
Sylvia. Sylvia, this is the thing. This is the thing. When Tasha K used to be on their side talking about Rob, they loved her.
Loved her.
They sure did.
They loved her.
Now all of a sudden, she's the biggest liar.
Let me explain something to you people. You don't have to read the story to know the whole book, okay? You can skip in between page and you get to know the whole detail of a story.
No, you can just read on the back, Gucci. You know, on the back of a book, it sums the whole story up.
Yeah. You know, but he just crazy.
I like to get
you know what I used to do, Sylvia, in school? I used to read the back of the book and then take all the answers to the quiz, and I used to pass.
You're terrible.
I might have had to flip through a couple pages, but I never would read the whole book.
Thank you, Sylvia, Irene. Thank you.
But Sylvia, I want to say something.
Hang on.
That, and I'm saying it from me and for everybody in the chat. We want to thank you so much for you just feeding information to people about, just different situations. I'm sure everybody in the chat right now will agree about this lawsuit, that it put a little light into let people know that how the jail people are liars or the prosecutors are liars, because according to them in that thing that the lawyers filed, they claim nothing like this was happening in the jail, but this inmate tells everything.
Yeah, they talk about how inside they don't clean it. I mean, I believe that.
They don't.
They're not cleaning it.
I believe it because the thing is,
they said one of the inmates, his nose was sick, and they just put him on the garbage bag and then pull him down the stairs. And I mean, you can't treat people like that.
And you know what though? And I'm gonna tell you one thing. One thing was what this lawsuit gonna do. It may, whatever that fool say, but I guarantee you, he filed it in the court. I guarantee the U.S. Marshal gonna do their own investigation across there to make sure. Because you got to remember, every federal inmates over there is governed by the U.S. Marshal until they get sentenced. Then they become BOP. But right now they're U.S. Marshal inmates. So that's why I told people, when you got complaints, you got to complain to the U.S. Marshal, not to the warden, because the warden worked for the U.S. Marshal while they're over there. That's who the U.S. Marshal got the contract with. If you go ahead and you look it up yourself, you will see that all federal inmates are considered U.S. Marshal property. Because that's who they got. That's who take them to court. That's who do everything, and they got to watch them. So I guarantee you, this gonna let U.S. Marshal pay attention. Not saying the U.S. Marshal may make change, because let's be real, ain't none of them make no change, none. But it's gonna get attention. It's gonna get attention. So, and I hope, this we pass it on to different lawyers so they can see about how the prosecutor lied. Just a lot of stuff, man.
Gucci, I've been doing some work, right? Okay.
I know you do.
Well, Camille,
I know you do.
Camille will have my videotape. I guarantee you that.
I know you do. That's why I've been kind of. Rhonda says she back in the bush.
she listens.
Hey, Derek, come on the panel quick. Unless you're at work.
He probably at work.
He always work. That's a working man.
So, I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention because, like I said, I always try to keep you aware of what's happening with Robert. You can count on this station, or this channel to bring you updated stuff on Robert.
Sylvia, I got a question.
Huh?
You think on the inside Rob was aware of that lawsuit and think he had an opportunity to get on?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Because I'm gonna tell you why I think so, Sylvia. I'm gonna tell you why I think so. Before they file as a class action, I'm sure he talked to his counsel and let them know, and the word get around to see who want to be part of it. That's sure.
Why you don't think he was a part of it?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know. But he is a detainee, so those two guys are representing,
they're representing all the detainees.
One is for the detainee, and the other one is for the ones who are residents. So, and he said that detainees are 90% of the people at MCC. That detainees who haven't gone to trial yet are just sitting there and waiting for their trial.
The resident ones are the ones that got sentenced but have not moved because they're probably working on case with prosecutors. Those are the ones they call residents.
Here's Kayla. Here's good question. Kayla asked, "How will the lawsuit against MCC affect Robert's case?" It could affect them two ways. It could give more verification of what his lawyer was saying about MCC's not keeping him safe. Yeah. Because remember, one of the things that his lawyers was arguing that he is not safe, not only because he's not safe because of the guys coming to get him, now his health is being placed in danger because now there's some concrete proof of other inmates saying that it's not safe inside there with COVID. And with Robert there's some underlying health issue. Oh, Lord, let me mute him. Jeez, I kept hearing myself. With Rob having some underlying health issues, like diabetes, what they talked about, and the other things that's going on with him, that will help make his request a case stronger. Unless it's just that evil that they don't want this man out, But it will strengthen some of the things that they have been saying. Because remember, the government said, no, that was not true. He is safe. It's being in the jail was more of the safest place for him, that this is happening, that this facility is being taken care of, blah, 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 all of this stuff. But now this class action in the place that he is in is saying that they are not safe. Here's some examples of how this man is not safe. So it just solidified their argument. Go ahead, Gucci. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying you're right. And no, you're right with that. You're right. I was just listening to you. You're right. I'm going back in the chat.
Okay. All right. You have something to say, Mr. 313? You know I'm at that marker.
Nope. Good night.
Yeah, you know I am. Once I get to that 2-hour marker, I'm ready to get off. But anyway, anybody have any question before I get off? Because I'm about to get off. Anybody have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, anything that you would like to share if you want to come on the panel?
Have you been? Oh yeah, you've been seeing this TI stuff. It's getting more and more information.
I saw the last thing you sent me. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I did.
It's interesting now, huh? Because now before the focus was T.I., now all of a sudden it's somebody else. You see that, right?
I told you that's how it was gonna be.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for my Cash App. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And this one was for me, y'all. Thank you. So Rob is not getting this one. Okay, 313. They said for me. It says for all I do. Thank you.
You got your birthday countdown on?
No, I didn't start the birthday. Oh yeah, birthday countdown. 19 days to go, y'all. Remember, it's gonna be $54. Those who choose to. You're not being forced. You're not being manipulated or anything. I just want to make a big statement to his defense team that we are 100% behind him. Now, if you want to pay more, now you can pay $154. You can pay $5.40, whatever you can. I'm asking you guys to participate on my birthday, and I want to be a blessing to Mr. Sylvester Kelly's defense team in providing him whatever he may need for the case. You know, things like if he needs someone for forensics, investigator, if he wants to do some more motion, because you know motion costs about $150 each pop. Whatever they may need, that they won't have to worry about it and not do it for him, because we have provided some funding to help them to ease some of it, because you know some of his attorneys are operating on a what do you call that thing? What is that thing called? Pro bono. That's what it's called, pro bono. And so if we can alleviate some of the costs, which it does cost, and remember, his finances are frozen. I'm not saying he's broke, because he's not what you call broke, but he is broke because he don't have access to his money, because the access are frozen. So anybody, I should keep my Cash App. My Cash App is up. It's $. Moderators, could you please start putting my Cash App in the live, please? Start putting it in there while we do it, because you know I'm not a Cash App person. I try not to show it too much, but because we have a challenge, I'm challenging you guys. You know, I'm challenging you guys to participate for my birthday. If you like me, if you don't like me, that's fine. You don't have to do it. I understand. But those who likes me, I'll know by your money. He says, you know, the Bible says, you know, where the person's heart is, how they give. You know what I'm saying? So if your heart is not towards me, I totally understand. But if you love me, if you want to show me some love, you will do that 54. Even if you don't do the 54, you can do the $5.40. It doesn't matter how you do it, but just help me to be a blessing to Mr. Kelly's defense team. And that's what I'm asking for. I don't normally ask for anything, but you have not if you ask not. So I'm asking you guys to help me to be a big blessing. a big blessing to this man who cannot defend himself right now. And I know, sometimes I used to always ask my pastor about, because he was always say, give to those who have already. I'm like, okay, if they have, why give to them? He says, because you're opening up your blessings by giving to someone who has, because the needy always have other people giving. Most of the time, you can't. A person like Robert, I don't think he ever asked anybody for anything because of his position or where he is, because he's a giver. So, and that's why I know it's hard for me to accept, because I am a giver too. So, let's be a blessing. Let's be a blessing to him. And remember, this is my choice. It's not me twisting you guys' arm or anything like that. It's me. It's what I want to do. And if you guys want to be a blessing, and I'm asking you to be a blessing to me, and I can be a blessing to him. So, one hand washes the other. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a blessing to his defense team by providing them some sort of relief for like expenses, everything costs. This world, everything costs, everything. So if you guys would be willing, Cash App, moderators, you're not putting the Cash App in there. Hello. Okay, Mr. 313, you're a moderator. Why are you not putting the Cash App out there?
Because I gotta go.
Excuses. Stop making excuses.
I don't even know your Cash App.
It's right there.
Where?
Right there on the thing. Look at it. $TUNUSIIME. It's going to be a picture in a denim jacket. Thank you, Miss Fat. Yes, if you guys want to be a blessing to me, you can, and I'm asking those who can, bless me with $54 because I'll be 54 years old. That's what I picked that number. I picked 54 because I'll be 54. Now, if you want to give more, it's different, but I'm just asking for the 54. And those who cannot get the 54, you can give $5.54. It doesn't matter. I also be blessed with. Oh, your birthday's coming. Woo, woo, Pisces in the house. Woo, woo. The best sign ever. The best sign ever. The best sign ever.
Reaching, sis. Reaching.
Pisces, huh? What you say?
I said you reaching now.
Dude, we are the best. Pamela said, hey, I know this is not about Kelly. Love him to just, so everyone knows, Jess is burying her brother today. Pray for her family. Okay, we will pray for her family, Pamela. Blessings to her family. Okay, y'all ready? And thank you to everybody who donated to also Love Leads family for the flowers, and also we were able to raise enough to give them a couple of dollars too, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. You guys rock. All right, so. But anyway, I just want to bring you guys this. Don't forget, we will have updates this whole week of what's happening to Robert's case. As soon as I get the information, I will send it and have it out to you guys. And you guys could, yes, Ratchet Randa has, she did it for us. She's the one who's sending out the flowers, and she's the one who sending the family the cash. Guys, you rock, I tell you. You are the bomb. Diggity. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. All right. I'm about to go. If anybody else don't have anything to say, like at the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. That's what we used to always end our church thing with. So anybody hold on. Somebody just sent me something. Let me just look. Huh? What the heck? Hold on a second. Somebody just sent me something. Hold on. I'm going to mute for a minute. I got to read. Talk to the people, Detroit. Oh, Lord, he's showing that thing again. I'm going to get off the screen. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. It's nothing. Somebody just submitted something to me. I thought it was something I was supposed to read now, but it's not. Okay. That was basically it. Guys, don't forget to, it says I will be back. Will you be back later today? Kayla, yes, I probably will be back because I probably have some stuff because you know me, I gotta study some things and I'll bring it to you guys. I'll bring it to you guys' attention, okay? I will be contacting the attorney who's doing the class action. I'll let you guys know what happened with that too, okay? So God bless you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you in a few. I don't know what time, so don't get me to lie. So I'll be back, but I don't know what time. I'll see. Yeah, I'll put a notation in when I'm coming back, okay? But I'm going to reach out to that attorney now. Talk to you guys later. Bye.